Hallo zusammen, FLG hier. Bevor das G36 und das G3 in der Bundeswehr akzeptiert wurden, gab es das G1, das deutsche FAL. Hey guys, FLG here. In today's video we're going to look at the German G1 clone. After the end of World War II, Germany was obviously a divided nation. In the West we had the Western Allies, in the East obviously we had Russia, or the Soviet Union at that time. In 1951, the German government established the BSG, Bundesgrenzschutz, which was a German border patrol, a very militarized border patrol, to fend off any threats coming from the east. And they had a mismatch of weapons. They had the K98, M1 carbines, M1 Garins, MG42, MG34, I think MP40s, Thompsons, and a slew of other shit. And they wanted to find a rifle to fix it all. So enters the G1. G stands for Gewehr, 1 obviously model number 1. So I had the G3 is obviously the third one they had, and so forth and so forth. They built up on that, but the G1, that was this one. In 1955, the Bundeswehr was established. They too needed a rifle, and the G1 was super attractive for them. Now, they did order thousands of these from FAL. They also wanted to make these rifles in Germany, and that's where FN said no. They remember that under German occupation, FN did not have a great time. They had slave labor going on and a slew of other things, and they never wanted to have a strong Germany again. So they said no to Germany. And that's why Germany decided to go with the G3 down the line from SETME and HKME to G3. And later on G36, which is also a super cool weapon. Anyhow, getting back to the G1. What makes the G1 so cool and why it was such an important design? Obviously, we have an elongated flash hider, kind of Browning style flash hider. Mine is not clone correct because clone correct would be the bayonet lug mount, I believe, and also it would fit on a different kind of muzzle thread. They had a different muzzle thread on their G1s. It did come with a bipod and the steel handguard, and then obviously we had the polymer pistol grip and the wooden stock. This was the latest stage G1s that they had. They had various other G1s, as you can see in these pictures, which were introduced, played with, and then discharged in favor of that one. The Germans procured thousands of these rifles, and they equipped the BSG, the Bundesgrenzschutz, with these rifles until the G3 in the early 60s replaced them all. People ask, what happened to these? Well, they were sold all over the world. Even in Rhodesia, we've seen G1s that were unthreaded muzzle, with the unthreaded barrels, basically. And they have seen use all over the world. And yeah, it is a really interesting rifle that briefly served in the German armed forces. So we're going to fire a couple rounds and do our initial review of this rifle and see how I like it. Feels heavy, has a wooden stock to it, but who cares? That rocks, I tell you that. Lock to the rear on a Bren mag. Man, that feels heavy. That wooden stock. Whew. Introduce a malfunction. So I do have malfunction with the FAL too. You can see in this video, you see the rifle or the round does not properly feed into the rifle. That's clearly because the magazine is old, the spring is worn out, and it does not function. This rifle has functioned so far quite well. I've shot it as the Gewehr 58 configuration. Now it's a G1 configuration. It ran with the Bren mag. The Bren mag is usually finicky, so it is definitely not the rifle. It is a magazine. Take care of your magazines. Anyhow, I got a bunch of rounds left. Let's fire them. So I have to say the handguard gets freaking hot. I'm about to burn my hands with that rifle, unfortunately. So big no-no on metal handguards. That was it, ladies and gentlemen. Lock to the rear, no malfunction of this rifle. All right, let's get to some closing thoughts on the G1. G1 is a really nice rifle. I like it. I like the wooden stock. I hate to say it, I'm not really a boomer, but a wooden stock with a polymer pistol grip and these handguards does feel kind of cool. Handguard though is insanely hot. Yeah, no, I can't touch it right now. It was burn my hand. That's kind of like the downside, and that's why I don't think the G1 is a great battle rifle, just because of that reason. Obviously, I do have the pipe pod. It's the same one as with the Sturmgewehr 58. There's nothing crazy about that. Locks into place. We all know bipods are a thing of the past and a thing of the Cold War when you engage like armies, when you were dug in and engaged armies at further distances. I wouldn't take the bipod off, definitely. Also different handguards. But that's something for the future because that will not stay as a G1 for much longer. I'll do some more testing with it and then I will convert it into an R1 sniper rifle. But hey, anyhow, I do think it is a nice rifle. I do think it's a nice historical rifle, and the muzzle brake is not too bad. This elongated flash hider, it does its job. So you've seen me shoot maybe, I don't know, 60 rounds for this video or 50 rounds, and I did shoot probably another 100 through it, so we're 200 rounds through this rifle, and it performed. It runs well. I cannot complain. It's a good job on Dsarms. Anyhow, thank you very much for watching this video. Hit the comment section below, subscribe, like, share, whatever it takes, just spread the word, and hit on my Instagram and Twitter. It's also linked below, and follow me, and yeah, let's grow the FAL market together, and let's tell people that the FAL is still a cool battle rifle. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and until next time.